On a quiet evening, when the sky glowed soft orange, I walked along the familiar forest trail beside the river. The world felt calm, the air cool, and the leaves beneath my feet made a soft, comforting crunch. I had always liked peaceful moments like these moments, when the whole world seemed to slow down. But that night, something felt different. The forest wasn't just quiet, it felt expectant, as though it was waiting for something to happen. I didn't know what until I heard a delicate, crystal-like tink echo between the trees. I stopped and listened. The sound came again, soft and musical, like tiny bells chiming in the distance. Curious, I stepped closer to where the sound seemed to come from. And that's when I saw it. A small lantern glowed warmly at the roots of an old oak tree. It wasn't hanging from a branch, nor resting on the ground. It was floating gently in the air, swaying as if held by an invisible breeze. But it wasn't the lantern that caught my breath. It was the creature holding it. A tiny fox stood beneath the tree, its fur glowing softly like melted gold. Its tail shimmered like drifting fireflies, and its eyes were warm and gentle, full of kindness. I felt instantly. The fox blinked at me once, slowly, as if greeting me without a sound. The fox gave a cheerful little chirp, almost like a musical note, and turned away. It took slow, careful steps, the lantern swaying from its mouth. It kept glancing back at me, making sure I was following, and although I didn't understand how or why, I felt drawn to its warm glow. As we walked deeper into the forest, the world around us changed. Shadows softened into peaceful pools of blue, and the trees seemed to glow faintly as the lantern's light brushed past them. Every few steps, the fox's tail flicked happily, sending tiny sparks drifting through the air. Without realizing it, I began smiling. Eventually, we entered a clearing. The air here hummed with a gentle, soothing vibration. One by one, fireflies drifted out from the trees, their lights blinking softly like tiny stars. More and more appeared until the entire clearing sparkled like the sky had fallen to the ground. The fox leaped into the lights and twirled joyfully in the glowing cloud of fireflies. Their light wrapped around us, warm and soft, and I stepped into them as well. Fireflies brushed my hair and shoulders, leaving gentle trails of gold behind. The fox nudged me playfully, and I laughed a light, easy laugh I hadn't heard from myself in a long time. At the center of the clearing was a ring of ancient stones. The fox approached it, placed its lantern gently in the middle, and stepped back. Golden light spread out in ripples, illuminating swirling patterns on the ground. Then words appeared, glowing softly. Courage grows where kindness leads. The message warmed something deep inside me. I felt braver, lighter, as though the fox had brought me here to remind me of something important. The lantern's glow began to brighten. The fireflies gathered closely, circling the light, and the tiny fox slowly began to rise. I stared in awe as it floated upward, its tail shimmering like a golden comet. Its eyes stayed fixed on mine, gentle, thankful, full of quiet affection. Higher and higher it drifted until the lantern's light merged with the night sky. In that moment, a new star appeared, soft, warm, and steady, a lantern star. Sometimes, when I walk through the forest, I see that golden star glowing between the branches, and every now and then I hear a faint tink like a tiny lantern still chiming somewhere in the woods. And whenever I do, I know the truth. The lantern fox never really left. It simply found a new place to shine. As the nights passed, I found myself returning to the forest again and again. Something about that place felt different, now softer, safer, as if the fox's gentle light had lingered in the air. Each evening, the lantern stars shimmered above the treetops, guiding me like a quiet promise. One night, while walking beneath its glow, I noticed something unusual. The fireflies were gathering again, drifting toward me in a small, glowing trail. They bobbed gently in the air, forming a delicate path deeper into the woods. It felt familiar, almost like the fox's silent guide in a zoo. I followed. The deeper I went, the brighter the fireflies became. Then, between the trees, I spotted a soft, shine-pale, bluish-white glowing from a hollow log. When I knelt beside it, I found a tiny orb of light, no bigger than a pebble, pulsing gently like a heartbeat. I cupped my hands around it, and the orb floated upward, circling me with a warm hum before drifting ahead. It led me to a small pond hidden beneath leaning willow trees. The water was calm, reflecting the lantern star above. The orb flickered excitedly and dipped toward the surface. When I followed its reflection, I gasped softly. In the pond's mirror-like surface, I saw shapes of tiny animals, glowing foxes, rabbits, birds, all gently chasing each other in spirals of light. They weren't really in the water. They were memories, echoes of forest spirits that once roamed freely. And at the center of these reflections, I saw the lantern fox smiling softly, its golden tail wrapped protectively around them. A warm breath brushed my shoulder. I turned quickly, but nothing was there, or at least, nothing I could see. Still, I knew the feeling. The fox was near, its presence as gentle as a hand resting lightly over my heart. The orb drifted back into my palms and pulsed with a tiny glow. Somehow, without words, I understood. The forest had chosen me to help keep its light alive. Courage, kindness, and the quiet magic I'd been given were meant to be shared. So I sat beside the pond and whispered stories of the fox, the fireflies, and the night full of stars. As I spoke, the reflections brightened, swirling joyfully through the water. And for the first time, I felt something I had never known so clearly. I wasn't just following magic anymore. I was becoming part of it. From that night on, whenever someone wandered alone into the forest, fireflies would gather gently around them. The air would hum softly, and the lantern star would shine just a little brighter, reminding me that the fox's light was still guiding people to safety. Maybe the lantern fox wasn't beside me anymore in the same way, but through every warm glow, every soft spark, every gentle night breeze, it lived on. And as long as the lantern star watched from above, no one, especially me, would ever truly be alone again.